Okay. So this is our, oh yeah, I turned it up. This is our March ad hoc committee meeting. We have all of our ad hoc committee members here. So Christine Rivera, Margarita Espinosa, Carmen Rivera, Frank Franz, and Monique Williams, who is the newest member of the committee. She was just appointed. She's on Zoom. And Magda Mary, I see, is also on the line. So those are our board members in attendance. I think our first item on our agenda is election of a committee chairperson. I'll just say, if you're considering running for committee chair, this is a very short-term responsibility. We're gonna meet March, April, May, and that's it. Probably we'll be done by the end of the year. So a couple
Two more
meetings.
meetings.
Yeah, 2 more after this. So is someone willing to be the chair? Because I need someone to give a report and present this to the board at our next meeting.
Look at me.
Everyone's already chairing a committee, so so.
Yeah, we're all cheering.
Right. But you can, I mean, this is not a standing committee, so you could also chair this committee.
I mean, I'm willing to chair it.
Okay. Any other nominations, volunteers?
Frank, you wanna go for it?
I mean, I would do it if you don't want to do it, but I'm not gonna run against you. If you want to do it, that's fine. If you don't want to do it, I'm happy to do it. It's
I feel like
simple
you've
meeting.
been here from the beginning, and so it's like, okay, I
Yeah.
think, either myself or Frank, no, I can do it. It's spoke with Raphael earlier, and
Okay.
again, we're planning to like get this done. That's the goal. Get
Yeah.
it done. What, May?
May should be it.
Yeah, May
Yeah.
should be it, and we get it approved, so,
So we'll have new bylaws by September.
That's the plan.
yeah.
Good.
That's the plan.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we have a nomination on the floor. We're gonna close the floor to nominations. We wrote bylaws about elections. Closing the floor to nominations, we should vote. All those in favor of Christine Rivera serving as chair of the ad hoc committee?
Aye.
Aye.
Great, that's unanimous. All right.
Monique
Thank
said
you.
yes.
Thank you. Great, so, what I had suggested, and, this is probably the best way to kind of present the information to the board is to, I mean, we could start reviewing bylaws now, or we could just vote on presenting what we have so far and save the rest to present for the month following. We have 4 pages of bylaws we've already done. We're on page 5 right now. So,
Are these the corrections, the ones we're working?
yeah, this is the February draft.
Okay.
There's a line in the middle of page 5, which is where we stopped. So we have already a lot of bylaws written. So we could keep editing and then present everything we do today as well to the board, or we could just send it to the board now with articles 1 through 7. It's kind of up to you all. We could do a quick review.
We didn't finish 7, though.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're halfway through. So we can
Uh-huh.
present 1 through 6 to the board.
well, I think if we can do 7 and then like. Now
that.
with this committee, yeah, go over 1 through 7 and say, and then agree, make a motion to present.
Yeah.
1 through 7 to the board, then I think that will leave us in a good place to stay on our timeline.
Great. Let me,
I think that's a great idea.
okay, great.
So we gotta do like 2-3 pages at the next of the 2 meetings.
Yeah.
Right, we're almost like halfway through
Yeah.
now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're up to 5, so next meeting, if we get up to 8, then the meeting after that to 11, we gotta finish this year.
Yes.
That's reasonable.
I just put the folder with the documents in the chat, if you wanna look at it, and I can share my screen as well. So let me share my screen so you can see what we're looking at. All right, so do you want me to review what we've done so far, just quickly as a highlight? We started with basically just reorganizing and simplifying the bylaws. We'll catch Monique up to speed. Article 1 is basically kind of what are the powers of the board, what are the rules that govern the board? Article 2 is membership responsibilities, kind of what is the appointment term, how do you resign? how does the board remove someone? How do board members request a leave of absence? Article 3 is our hearings and meetings, how we do public hearings. How we have quorum. How we do public hearings. Article 5. Is there an Article 4? Sorry, 4 is public hearings.
Mhm.
5 is that all the records are kept in the office and on the website. 6 is elections. Frank, we pulled from the elections, from the nominating committee last year. We wrote rules rather than nominating committee work,
Right.
and we just inserted them into the bylaws.
Oh, okay.
So that
Mhm.
it's for everyone to approve. We did mention that, hello, we added a line about good standing. And that basically, in order for members to be eligible to be on the executive committee, they had to be in good standing, which we defined as not currently in violation of their attendance rules.
Which one is that?
This is page 4, elections, section 1.
Okay.
Good standing is defined as not currently in violation of attendance rules and not subject to a disciplinary committee action within the past fiscal year.
That was added in.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mm,
Which basically gives the disciplinary committee the power to determine who's in good standing, you know? And I think we've done a good job of that so far this year. So we talked about kind of how the elections will be conducted. And then we started on Article 7 on page 5, which is officers.
Okay, before you
Yeah,
Move on, didn't we add some things about nominations from the floor? Didn't we add that?
yep, that's section 6, the bottom of
Okay.
page 4.
Yeah, okay.
Will then request nominations from the floor, they could nominate themselves and other members in good standing, and then the nominating committee chair will close the nomination period.
Okay.
We may make the announcement,
Mhm.
and then you hand in your ballots, fill in your ballot, hand it in, nominating committee collects the ballots. And then someone has to get a majority, and if not a majority, we do a runoff.
Yep, and counting in the same room was something too.
Yes. Yes, section 9, nominating committee members will count the votes in the same room.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the election process. Article 7 is talking about officers of the board, so. I think we added the line parliamentarian because that was missing. That was section 1. Section 2. We just mentioned that the election procedure is already laid out in Article 6. Yeah, that's where we left section 2, and then what we have below is just kind of from the old bylaws, so we can start kind of refining that. So what is section 5? We should now call section 3.
Mhm.
This is removal, but I think we've already, so this is removing an officer. Interesting, okay. So this is basically proposing making a ad hoc committee for removal of a officer.
Maybe the disciplinary committee should do
I
it,
think the disciplinary committee, the
Yeah.
disciplinary committee is already doing this.
right,
Right.
and they're familiar with the rules.
Yes, and they have a system in place. So. Maybe we should just replace all of section 3. And just say. That the process is that it has to be referred to the disciplinary committee. I guess the question is, how is it referred to the disciplinary committee?
What process is used?
I mean, the disciplinary can obviously choose to take up a problem with an officer. They've done that before. And I think we've said before that members of the board can make referrals to the disciplinary committee. So I don't think we've really written about the disciplinary committee before. I mean, maybe we want to write a section on the disciplinary committee in the bylaws.
That's not a good idea.
Over here, I have an officer say 1, 2, and section
Yes,
5.
5, right, because we were rewriting them, we deleted 3 and 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
So that's
So
gonna
5
be
is
like-
now 3.
That's gonna be 3, okay.
So are we, one question that I have is, are we creating a different process for the officer, or would removal, the sections 4, 5, and 6 in Article 2
Right.
still hold for officers?
So I think we should follow the procedure. In other words, what we're saying is anybody could challenge an officer. Someone could say, I don't think the chairman should be chairman because they stole money or whatever the situation is. The disciplinary committee investigates it. They give the person a chance to respond.
Mhm,
They prepare a report and a recommendation.
mhm.
That goes to the whole board. No one gets removed without the whole board voting on it.
Right.
And majority vote anyway,
Right.
whether it's for any reason.
So, but then also too, like if 3 consecutive absences, like these would still hold true even.
But that
for an
applies to
officer.
everybody, yeah.
Right, that applies to everyone.
Right, because they're all board members, whether you're an officer or not,
Exactly.
yeah.
Correct.
I mean, we could just say, officers are subject to bylaw Article 2, Section 4,
Yeah.
which describes removal. That the grounds for removal from members applies to officers. We could write that in here.
So you're talking about an officer removed from office or removed from the board, or both?
I guess from office, because board is already defined, right? The removal procedure is already explained earlier, so we could just say, an officer may be removed from their post.
So that's A, right?
This
Section
is,
3.
it's section 3, we haven't done A yet. Removed from their post for
Section 3, Article 7, then.
grounds laid out
Right here, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you're in the right.
in, and the removal procedure is Article 2, Section 4. Um. I think what else? Is there anything else we need to say about officer removal? I mean, I think if we want to write a section on the disciplinary committee, that might clarify a lot more than we can really write in this section.
To insert it?
Because the disciplinary committee also has rules that we could just insert into the bylaws. How they do an investigation, how they review complaints.
Well, should that be part of the bylaws, or should that just be like an addendum, like probably every committee, or many committees probably should have a list of rules by the way they go, because the committees some are different from one another, some of them
Yes.
might have different ways they process stuff.
Yes, yes.
You should, do you think all of that should be encoded in the bylaws, or should we simply say that,
Members can
that
refer,
committee members are subject to the rules the rules of operation as specified for that committee and approved by that committee,
yeah,
something like that?
yeah, yeah. There's a section on committees, so we can go into more detail there. I don't know that we need any of this other language around removing officers. I mean, if we say refer to Article 2, Section 4,
Yeah,
all of this is then kind of, we don't really need it. This is laying out and the whole other process that maybe is not necessary. So we should just cut the rest of Section 5?
yeah, but do we want to include, I know still need to map out like the disciplinary committee, but include that in this section? That it would,
Like members can refer to the disciplinary committee rules.
I
Removal,
think all of this was there because we didn't have a disciplinary committee before.
right,
yeah.
No, we never had one.
right,
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's why it's there.
yes,
Now, does the disciplinary committee have something similar to what the nominating committee?
Yes,
Perfect.
they have rules,
Yeah.
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 Perfect,
So
yeah.
we can go over those too, but I'll just,
Yeah,
think we
but
just
those are
replace this.
special committees. Those are
Mhm.
special
Yes.
committees.
yes. Alright, so. Section 3 is now, an officer is removed from their post for grounds laid out in Article 2, Section 4. Members may refer to the disciplinary committee rules to better understand removal investigations and procedures. And that's it,
Yep.
simplified. Alright, Section 6 is now Section 4. What's Section 6 talking about? Chairperson is gonna preside, file reports. Be a member of district service cabinet and borough board, appoint all committees, be an ex off.
Just the duties of the chairperson, more
Yes.
or less. Matter of fact, that's what the next couple of articles are, the duties of the
Yeah.
different.
Ex
Office.
office, I think they're meaning to say ex officio, I think they just, their Latin is not very good. By him or her. Oh, written with a man in mind. It says if the chairperson or other officers are not available, the chairperson will appoint a representative. Okay,
Do we wanna
Um,
put a subheading here of, duties of officers?
that's an idea, I think,
I was trying to see if we did that anywhere else. Yeah,
uh. The chairperson duties are kind of laid out. In the next section, in the next article. Yeah, I think it goes through each duty
Yeah, so
here,
it's-
yeah.
so then we can just put, not create a new article, but put,
A subheading,
yeah, the
Yeah.
duties of officers.
That's section 6.
And we don't have the parliamentarian there.
and we're also missing, yes.
Yeah, so we need to add the parliamentarian. So this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay. I'm not sure what it means by file all reports for the board. Chairperson shall file all reports for the board. I think maybe it's referring to like being the signature on any communication. Like any letter from the board is signed by the chair. I think, is that maybe what it means?
Well, do you make reports and stuff that go to the city that the chairperson has to sign?
No, our district needs statement is not signed by the chair. There's not like a place for the chair to sign. I think it names the chair on the document, but it doesn't like, there's no signature at the end. Any communication we send to the city is signed by the chair. So maybe that's what I should replace this with is, shall sign all correspondence to outside entities.
Yeah, the chairperson is the authorized signatory on all communications from the board.
Yep, yep. From the board, and then, on all communications from the board voted on by board members.
Yeah,
Cause if voted on by board members. Today a DOT asked me for a letter asking them to change a street sign because the street sign is wrong. And I'm not gonna bring it to the board to vote on fixing a street sign that's wrong, so I just tried it, so it's signed by me,
By you.
you know? So I think if the members vote on it, then the chair signs it, even if it's from a committee that's members
Right.
voting.
mm-hmm,
On it.
In other words, we're not talking about routine board operations.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. All right, sections, I think that's all section 4. I didn't see anything else we really needed to change.
well, what is this, if the chairperson or other officers are not available, the chairperson will appoint a representative?
If there's like a voting item at borough board meeting, typically I asked the first vice chair and the second vice chair, but we had a meeting earlier this year that neither one of them was available. So the chair just named someone to go,
Okay.
you know? And I think it's good that it's kind of left open to pick a representative.
Mm-hmm,
Section 7, we'll call section 5 now, first vice chair. Have all the powers to perform all the duties of the chairperson. Upon occurrence of a vacancy in the office of chair, first vice chair will be elected and shall qualify, okay. What is that? Upon occurrence of vacancy in the office of chair, the first one shall be. Have been elected, got it, okay. Powers and duties, okay, I think that's fine. I don't see any issue with first vice chair. Section 7, which we're now calling 8. Sorry, 8, which we're now calling 6,
Mhm.
is second vice chair. All the powers and duties. Vacancy. Okay. Great. Section 9 that we're calling 7. Secretary, record the minutes, maintain the records of the board. Minutes, reports, communication, correspondence, he or she,
So let me ask you this. So we elect a new chairman for 2 years.
yes,
6 months into it, for some reason, chairman moves away, moves to Florida. Does the first chairperson finish the 1.5-year term, or do they just serve and we have another election before a 1.5 years passes?
this says they just serve for the 1.5 years.
So they finish the whole term? Okay,
That's what this says.
right.
It's kind of like politics.
Right,
Yeah.
they just named the successor, yes.
Right,
Yes.
so there's no such thing as a special election for
No.
us.
Right.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Unless we wanted to have one, we could write it in if we wanted to do that.
Well, how would that delay anything else that need to be reviewed?
I mean, the first vice chair could just fill in on a temporary basis,
And then the second fills in for the first.
right?
Uh-huh.
There's always a temporary stopgap. The question is, do we want to have something in place if the chair resigns or passes away in the middle of the term?
Right,
it could be a-
we're not talking about the chairperson is sick for a month or two. We're talking about chairperson, they're going to be here for a 1.5 years, they're gone.
They're gone, right?
For the rest of their term.
Right,
I mean, if I was on the board, I'd want to elect a new chair.
Mhm.
I don't know. Or we have to tell people that if you're,
Special election, like a
well,
special
now
election.
you want to make sure you got a good a good vice chair in case the
It's very
chairperson.
important. yes,
Mhm.
very
Yeah.
important.
I mean, I got no problem with either way, I just want to
Yeah,
make sure I
I'm
understand.
thinking, is it safe to assume that if everyone voted for this person as the first vice chair, that they are okay then with this person assuming the role and responsibilities of the chairperson?
Right.
So the board will have to vote.
Well, why have another vote if we already
Mhm.
like said, like this person,
Okay.
So
you know.
you wouldn't need a vote unless the chairperson, first chairperson, and second vice chairperson all disappeared, then you have nobody filling nothing, then you'd have to have
Mhm.
Right.
a special election.
Special election,
Right.
yeah.
Very unlikely, but
We could add that, we could say upon, if the second first, if all 3 chair people are unable to serve, then the board shall have a special election. We could add that to the end of the second vice chair line.
I don't think it's harmful. I think it would be good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Because there's
because we
nothing
never know.
indicating what to do. in
Right.
We never know that
Like,
happens and then we don't know.
right.
yeah.
We don't know what to do or, you
At
know.
least we have some guidance.
Yeah.
Exactly. Mhm.
I'm wondering if we should change, because a lot of the pronouns are he. Do you
Yes.
wanna go through he or she, or just use they? Like, do you wanna go
Oh,
through
yeah.
Yeah.
Make our lives easier, because there's a
Yeah.
million of
the?
references.
Yeah, yeah,
Let me, where the elections is Article 6, special election following the process laid out in Article 6. I mean,
And this is Magda. I think it should say the individual. This way we're not doing it by gender because it could create a problem.
yeah,
yeah.
LGBT,
right. So I just searched for he. Secretary, we'll do they. They. Okay. Yep, that was it. Okay. Okay, so secretary shall record, maintain records, minutes, reports, communication, correspondence, attendance, certify the accuracy and completeness of the record of attendance, have the powers to perform such duties to be assigned to them by the chairperson of the board, not or the board, of the board.
Mhm.
Okay, that's section 7. Section 10, we're now calling 8. Treasurers will be the fiscal officer of the board. They shall be responsible for all financial matters, including the preparation of all financial reports. In addition, they shall have such powers and perform such duties assigned to them
Mhm.
by the chairperson. Is there a lot of him?
Yeah, it's all.
Oh, yeah, him or her is a lot.
Him or
is it?
hers.
Yep. Then. 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 Okay. That was secretary. Oh, lost.
Treasurer,
Treasurer. Should be fiscal officer of the board. Okay, that we did. 11 is now 9.
9, and we should put in something there for the parliamentarian, right?
Right, so let's do section 9 parliamentarian.
Mm-hmm.
The parliamentarian shall maintain order at board meetings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and seeing that the agenda is conducted in a reasonable and logical manner.
Mm-hmm. Time speakers during public session and elected official reports. I had a call from a district manager asking how to get the elected officials to stop talking so long. Said, put your parliamentarian in charge.
Maybe we should let them all know in advance, they're only gonna get X number of minutes.
That's what I told her. I said, put a timer, announce that there's a timer and let the alarm ring.
Too many don't like the
end.
sound of their own voice. They talk and say nothing.
Right.
So they repeat everything.
Because he was taking an hour out of every meeting to do the elected officials reports. I said, you gotta have a timer running. Yeah, yeah.
But they repeat whatever they said, the other one said.
We have a timer at the office. At the
Oh, yeah?
executive team, yeah, we have 3 minutes to say whatever and.
That's it?
boom, and it goes
Bill's got
off.
an egg timer,
Is there
but maybe we
maybe
have
the
something that
minimum
sets off
that
a
is
loud
allowed?
bell,
Yeah.
so they know.
Yes. He's using his iPad. Yeah, Gil has a pad. And
He has
ensure,
that gavel and it scares the heck out of
I
me.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, and ensure that speakers have been recognized by the chair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Anything else for parliamentarian?
Well, you want to specify that, or just say he has to, maintain order and discipline at the meetings?
Maintain order and
All right,
discipline.
because the chairperson may have reason to change things for any particular meeting or something, right? Decide to do something different depending on the crowd and the issue.
Right. Okay. Section 10. Section 10 is now all of their officers shall have powers and duties as may be assigned to them by the chairperson of the board. Okay. Great. We have some extra stuff that got pulled out of another section and just thrown here. No member shall be chairperson for a committee on the first year of appointment. Maybe that should be in the committee
I was
section.
gonna say, that's the next section.
Yeah, let's move this,
All
we
the
just
stuff.
copy all this and move it to,
Next article.
alright, so I'll cut that. So that's the end of Article 5. That's the end of Article 7. So this is Article 8.
Article 6 is now Article 8.
Yes. I don't know how the numbers are working,
Yeah.
but
This is.
they've been scrambled many times, so they're all, it's, who
So
knows?
Article 6 is now Article 8.
Yes,
Yeah.
committees.
Okay.
Wait, committee,
This is,
okay, this used to be 7, now it's 8,
yeah, bottom of page 6.
okay.
All right. So I have some comments on our committees. So we have an LGBT committee. They had no business for more than a year and the chair resigned. So I don't know what we want to do with this committee. My suggestion is that we roll this into Health and Human Services, because I think most of what the committee was doing was Health and Human Service related. We also have a sanitation committee that hasn't had any, it never has had any business as long as I've been here. The only thing they do is review complaints the board's office receives.
Because we used to have the sanitation with the parks. I
Right.
remember.
And it's always just been kind of attached to another committee, but
Mhm.
there hasn't really been business before the committee as long as I've been here.
Because they divided, after that, they divided because it used to be sanitation and parks together.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Mm,
It used to be.
That's interesting.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Uh-huh.
Raquel, we do need sanitation
Mhm.
Right,
because we have a big rodent
Yeah,
issue
yeah,
in this
and those
district.
garbage then.
Lot of garbage.
and what the
The
committee has
other
done,
thing is, we used to have people from sanitation coming to our meetings to do presentations, at least the committee. meetings. And also the general board meetings about what was transpiring in their particular agency.
Mhm.
We haven't had that in a year.
in a long time.
Uh-huh.
And invited everybody to come. Look, this gentleman came and did a speaking thing about the garbage cans and the commercial area. We should have done that already when it first was signed off by the city council. And the fact that it's coming up in September for homeowners.
Yeah.
So,
I-
you know, that's a committee meeting item, which we probably won't ever see.
Yeah, I'm not saying that we shouldn't entertain those issues. I'm just saying that why it shouldn't be its own committee. I mean, like, once a year, maybe we have a presentation from the sanitation, or they can come to a transportation and sanitation like as one committee. But I just worry that we have a committee chair here, we have a role in the executive, and on the executive board now for a committee chair that doesn't have regular business. Same thing with LGBT, like, why do we house this person on the executive committee if they don't have regular business?
Mhm.
You know, considering our board is always so far understaffed, we only have like 60% of what other boards have. We should probably
Yeah,
have it, try and combine as many committees as possible, because otherwise you need too many committee chairs. And then you don't have enough people for the members of everything, you know? So if we could combine them in logical manner, and if we ever get back up to 50 people where we should be, you know,
Mhm.
fingers crossed,
Mhm.
we could always unseparate them again.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
And-
Because I remember that we used to
But
be
you know,
together.
Frank, and
Okay.
So for the committee list, my suggestion is that we cut LGBT. We can say that LGBT issues can come to the Human Services Committee.
Okay.
And my suggestion is that we combine transportation and sanitation as one committee.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
You'll have mother and daughter chairs there.
We'll have to figure out who's
We
gonna,
can drive each other crazy.
they'll have to figure out.
Should
who's-
sanitation go with transportation, or should it go with environment and parks?
That's what they was before.
That actually might make more sense.
Uh,
That sanitation stuff goes to, yeah.
Before, we used to do it together. It
Yeah,
was
environment,
sanitation.
parks, and sanitation.
Right,
Okay.
Margie.
Huh?
I remember Margie.
Yes, that's what I'm
Right,
saying.
that was your committee, right?
Mhm.
Morning
Yeah.
Parks? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
So this is how the committee would look. It'd be disciplinary, economic development, environment, parks and
Okay,
sanitation.
you're gonna put it back with sanitation?
Yep.
Oh, my goodness.
Health and Human Services, aging veterans, housing and land use, public safety, transportation, youth and education.
My only concern is that if someone is looking to, they wouldn't like, you know, an organization that serves LGBTQ population, if they're looking, they wouldn't know, so I would put it down, just so, put
Yeah.
it down with the Health and Human
Yeah,
Services.
Health and Human Resources,
Yeah.
comma, aging, comma, veterans, and LGBT,
Yeah.
UI, whatever it is.
Now, why don't you consider Raphael putting transportation and public safety. Because
I was
after
just
this
thinking
ad hoc,
something too.
yeah, because after this ad hoc, it'll only be public safety.
On that same day.
Yeah,
Put what with public safety?
transportation.
Transportation.
You want it, the transportation does get a fair number of DOT presentations. So they come in and present, I don't know, 4 or 5 times a year.
Yeah, I think that's a lot, because you have a lot of licenses and,
Their committee's
Yeah.
busy.
yeah,
We
We
change
could
it.
do it, but I think we would be here pretty late.
yeah, that would be a
Okay.
lot.
I think maybe you would consider putting youth and education with public safety.
Is economic development, transportation? I don't know about that. Do they get a lot of business also?
Well, economic development gets a lot of,
Yeah,
yeah.
economic development is a big committee by
All right,
itself.
so we could leave it that way then.
Just leave it this way.
But I mean, you can
Even
combine,
though a lot of, like last night when I was at the council meeting, DOT issues came up
Yes.
what came up?
during
DOT.
that public safety.
Yeah, they're
Well,
connected,
not
but
public safety meeting, but the council meeting, I'm sorry.
yes, yes,
Well, there's a public safety component to the Department of Transportation, but there's also a lot of stuff that isn't public
right, right,
safety.
right.
Do you think youth and education should be combined with public safety?
Youth and
Ah.
education has a lot of presentations. We've been inviting
they
all
do?
the nonprofit providers to come and talk
Oh,
about
okay.
their youth programs there. I mean, obviously, the scheduling of meetings, we can always adjust and don't necessarily need to write into the bylaws, but I think as far as like the amount of volume of business, I think this looks like a good spread here.
Right, the busiest committee should meet with the least busy committees, so people aren't here all night.
Right, right. Um,
And we should probably try and appoint people to the same committees that are on here on the same night, since you have to come here and sit for both committees also, so people don't have to come in 2, 3 nights a week.
Yes.
month.
That's
That's
correct.
true,
Yeah.
yeah.
yes,
That's right.
Because it's not like you have 1 million members.
That's
Right.
what, that's what
Right,
I
I know,
have.
that's what, Margarita and I were like, we want our Wednesdays back, because we spend
I
every
know,
Wednesday
I don't
night
like no
here.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
right,
And the problem is that I can come to the other committees because I work Tuesdays and Thursdays
Uh-huh.
to 7 o'clock.
Yeah, so we gotta consider logistics of having
Mhm,
meetings.
That's not,
Make it
that's my
easier for
problem,
everybody.
that I can come to the other meetings, so.
I think probably the scheduling
Yeah.
is probably not good to put into the bylaws, so we can adjust based
Right.
on
Right.
people's
Exactly.
need,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay,
you know?
Yeah,
Um,
but we also talked about the general board meeting.
that scheduling, we could write into the bylaws if we wanted to. I mean, I don't know if we want to bring that to an executive session
No,
first.
executive session.
What, you wanna change the date, you mean, from the second Wednesday of the month?
Yeah, I brought it up to the boards, because right now we have like, the housing committee will meet, they'll make a recommendation, and then we can't vote on it for 3 weeks. And if we switch the order of the committees and the board, we could do stuff the next week.
Yeah.
But we might want to bring it to the executive as a whole to discuss
You brought it
further.
up where, in
At
the
the board
general
meeting.
board?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
This is my report.
All right.
So you wanna have all the committee meetings before the board meeting?
So we can get stuff done the same,
Yeah.
you know?
Mhm.
How many hours is that?
So yeah,
Like 3 hours? If we,
all in one day?
yeah.
Oh, my.
no, we
God.
can't do, yeah,
Can't do
Well, we're
it.
gonna have 8 committees. Once
We'll-
we
we'll
combine
see.
those.
Yeah.
yeah,
And if 2 of them are gonna meet in one night, we only have 4 nights of meetings. And if we could get arranged it so that if someone's on more than one committee, it's the same night, then all you need are 4 nights in 1 week, you know?
Right.
The first week of the month, 4 nights, these are the meetings, and then the week after is the board meeting.
exactly, yeah,
Because my meeting had to be on Wednesday.
Right.
That's something, because I don't work on I don't work Mondays, I don't work Wednesday, I don't work Fridays.
So you
So,
move to the 3rd Wednesday. And then the 2nd week of the month, we'll have all the committee meetings, and the 3rd week of the month, because you never know when the week's gonna start. The first week might not be a whole weekend, it might just be a Saturday and
Right.
Sunday.
right, right. Yeah, so I think,
Then you'll have a board meeting the day before Thanksgiving.
exactly,
Maybe we should allow something in there for the chairman to change a date when it falls on something like that. Or like when we had the meeting fall on Valentine's Day,
Yes.
nobody was there,
right,
Mhm.
you know?
Except, except
was
those
cold.
of us who-
But those of us who had a boyfriend or girlfriend.
And nothing, no plans for Valentine's Day.
So maybe there should be an exclusion there where, the chair, you know, where the chairman could, recommend a change in a meeting for special occasion to be voted on in a motion by the whole board.
Yep,
So it's not
so,
arbitrary.
there's a section on hearings and meetings. I don't think the second Wednesday of the month is written into our bylaws. I think we just do it. I don't see this written here.
No, I didn't see it either.
So we could, I mean, there's stuff here about special meetings. Well, I mean, section 4 is special meetings, a 10 days notice. Section 1 also talks about special meetings. Actually, section 1, a special meeting may be called at any time by the chairperson and shall be called at the request of one of the members of the board. We could add like, the board chairperson may propose changing a board meeting date at least 30 days in advance.
Well, actually, you should be able to do it at the beginning of the year by looking at the calendar, so you know what it is. So maybe we should put something like, all committees and the board must meet once a month for these months in a schedule determined for the maximum convenience of the board members and the community to be approved by a vote of the board or the executive board or something. So the first meeting of the year,
We schedule everything.
put it all out there,
Mhm.
let people, see it and vote on it.
And if they want to make amendments, they make amendments.
And they could do it right there. Yeah, somebody wants to make a change.
So that would be,
First executive committee meeting or?
Well, I'm saying, do you want the whole board to vote on it or just the executive board or?
Hmm,
I think it's good to just give everyone at the beginning of the year so they
Yeah.
Yeah,
know.
just let the whole
Yeah.
first meeting it's done, yeah.
yeah, so that would be the
So
September
it'll be a
meeting?
motion, yeah, it'll be a motion in the September meeting and you would have looked at it in advance and everyone will get it in, their package before they come in so they could look at it and make any comments, you know, before the thing's voted on.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah,
Everything's gotta be easier than harder.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's fine, hard.
Right. Well, like I said, we don't have that many members. We want to keep them, so let's not make it hard on them.
Exactly, exactly.
mhm.
You know what, Val, I wanted to ask you. The superintendent for sanitation has been changed
Yes,
in 1 year several times, as you know.
Yes.
Do you know the reason?
I've talked to the new guy, but I haven't asked him. I could ask him.
It's very unusual.
Yes, yes. So what I wrote is the board shall adopt a schedule of board and committee meetings in September of each year for the remainder of the fiscal year. This will allow members to propose changes in advance. To propose and adopt changes to the calendar.
Mhm.
Yeah, because this way it's already written.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Great. All right,
Mhm.
it's 6:20. We have public safety in 10 minutes. Should we adopt this? And bring it to the board where it stands now? We got to. Where?
Committees.
We got to
section eight.
committees, section 1. That's where we stopped.
Yeah, I think I would make a motion to present articles 1 through 7,
Yeah,
just so that it's.
8's gonna start a lot of
yeah.
debate.
Mhm.
Yes,
If we try to do the whole thing in one meeting, you're gonna need a whole meeting just for that.
yes.
So we'll be able to do anything else.
All right, so does someone second the motion for articles 1 through
I
7?
second it.
Are we all in favor of that?
Aye.
So we'll present articles 1 through 7 to the board. I'll also present the current bylaws as they are now. Because there's stuff we pulled from like Article 10 to these 7.
Mhm.
It's kind of we've kind of pulled from different places. I'll send it out in an email this week so people can review it in advance.
Yeah,
And then they can adopt it at the board meeting.
Okay,
And you'll present the report
yes,
and do, I guess, a brief overview.
yeah.
Okay, great. Great. That's it. Any other business we have to do?
I just have one question.
Yep.
Raphael, I know you say that you're going to present at the board meeting, but that's not for the chairperson to present at the board meeting?
Christine will present a report. Yeah,
Yeah, when he said he was looking at me, I'm sorry.
yes, right.
Oh, I
So, yeah.
thought, so you're gonna present the bylaws to the community board for an
Yes.
adoption to accept one,
Yeah.
Articles 1 through 7.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
and we won't show them the rest of it, so they don't get
Right.
confused. Yeah. Okay, great.
They go see the changes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All
Okay,
right.
great. Shall we pause for a couple minutes and then we'll start at 6:30 with public
I think
safety?
there might be
I
people.
think people are already on. Or do you want to get right into it? What do you want to do?
I'm gonna excuse myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay for a little bit too, because I have time to do too.
Okay,
I don't
Get
think
diet
they
soda yet?
take too long.
No.
unfortunately, we have to do our new order. If I could, Chair, could I run to the bathroom real quick and then we can
Of
start?
course. Evening.
Oh, let me stop there. There we go.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. This is the Public Safety Committee of Community Board 6. We're starting right now, and the first item on the agenda for liquor license application is Coto Mante, doing business as Gervasi Restaurant to Moses Restaurant, located at 2389 Arthur. Do we have a representative from there?
This is 2389 Arthur Gervasi.
I mean, I'm familiar with this restaurant. What does this mean, Gervasi Restaurant to Moises Restaurant? It's changing its name?
They're now
Uh,
requesting a name change. It's just a renewal on the application. The DBA is doing business as Gervasi to Moises.
Hmm.
We're early, so maybe you want to revisit them, because it's
Yeah,
not 6:30
yeah.
yet.
Do we have somebody on the call from Boca Restaurant? Hello? Do we have someone on the call from Boca Restaurant at 2458 Webster Avenue?
He just called me, actually. Let me call him back.
Is that many?
I'm here for Quantumante.
Oh, we have Cotamonte.
For Gervasi,
Yeah, that's correct.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight, sir. We understand you're applying for a renewal on your liquor license.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, could you give us your hours of operation and the days of your, of services?
From 11:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. And that is 7 days a week,
7 days a week?
correct?
yeah, we just started, yeah.
This is a full service restaurant. Their bar only sits like 4 people. It's just a service bar.
Yeah. I see that, your 311 calls, you had 1, 2, 3. The last 3 calls were in 2023, in November for loud music. Could you tell us a little bit about your business?
Yes, we have Italian cuisine. It's a family restaurant. It's been running for about 10 years.
Uh-huh.
And yes, for those complaints, when the police arrived, they hadn't seen anybody playing any music in the back.
Do you have any questions for us, sir?
I do not at the moment.
Any of the board members have any questions as it relates to this request? I have no further questions, Rafael. I don't see an issue with this establishment.
Great, so we'll make a recommendation to the State Liquor Authority and send a copy to you tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
All right, so that was Gervasi. Emmanuel from Boca just called me. He's gonna join shortly.
Okay.
He's in the airport waiting for a flight, so
Okay, so should we go to Majestic or?
sure, yeah.
Okay. Is there a representative here from Majestic Restaurant?
709 East 187.
No, there isn't anyone. You want to leave then the conversation on these complaints for the important ones?
Sure. Yeah, so I guess oh wait, I think that might be Manny. Hi, is that Manny on the line? Is someone here from Boca? Okay. If Manny is not on, then, okay, so for more, well, let me do 2300 Arthur first, because it's a little more simple. So
Okay.
we wrote to the State Liquor Authority about Asgard's 2300 Arthur Avenue several months ago. And it didn't go anywhere. I think because the precinct didn't have a line of communication to the State Liquor Authority. So I this week sent the letter again to the precinct and said, can you reach out to the State Liquor Authority to talk about enforcement? So that's just kind of the update there, is that I just sent it again to the precinct because there's still a lot of noise issues there. And previously there wasn't a line of communication, so maybe there'll be something that can happen now.
Do they still have an active liquor license? I thought they closed.
Asgard's?
Yeah,
I don't know if they're still in operation, but they still have a license.
Yeah,
I
that's
thought that
exactly what I was
closed down.
gonna ask,
Yeah.
exactly what Frank asked.
No, they're still in operation. They operate every day.
they do. They were owned by, I believe the fellow who owns the cigar shop next door, which I don't think
Yeah,
that's there.
Frank.
Right. So I sent it again to the precinct. I'll let you guys know if the precinct is able to take any follow-up action.
Okay,
There's a lot of noise complaints. out
Lot
there.
of them, lot of them. Emmanuel from Boca is on the line. So we
hi
have,
Manny, we have you on the agenda for renewal on your liquor license. Can you give us the hours of operation,
oh, you wanna say it again? He just connected again.
Manny? Just-
Can you hear us, Manny? I asked him to unmute. Are you able to speak about Boca?
Yeah, he's muted,
Yep.
because there's a lot of noise at the airport.
Yes.
Now, I think he's available now. But he's still muted.
I asked him to unmute, but I don't think he has. Oh, he says he's here. Can you come off mute quickly to speak to the committee? If not, I guess you wanna just start?
Manny, the questions that we have for you are, what are the hours of operation and what days of the week are you open? Manny? I think he's, oh, you're writing, Jay?
Mm-hmm.
He was at the council meeting last night.
Yes. And then the 311 complaints, he says it's not letting me unmute. Let me,
The last 311 was on March 10th of this year. And it was for illegal parking. It was some cars that were double parked. The others go back to 22, and there's three of them.
Hello, I'm sorry. Yeah, it didn't let me unmute for some reason.
Okay, yeah. You
All
all
right.
right, man?
Yes,
All right,
I'm
now-
good. I'm good. I'm sorry.
Well, thank you for joining us. We'll
right.
make it quickly. Could you tell us the hours of operations for your business?
Yes, we open at 4 every day, Monday through Saturday, and we open at 1 for brunch on Sundays. And we close on the weekends. We close at 4 in the morning. We have the lounge, and sometimes we have events during the week, but it's not steady where we close at 4. Like today, we have an event, so we close at 4 today. But normally it's only on weekends. But our license is still 4 in the morning every day because we do have events that go throughout.
4 in the morning, okay.
Do you have any questions for us, Manny?
No. Do you guys have anything, anything for me?
No, the
Any
only,
complaints, any issues?
we were reviewing the 311 calls, and apparently, in the last 311 is on March 10th, which is actually a couple of weeks ago, and it was for double parked cars. You have an issue there with double parking, with cars coming in, customers with double parking? There's actually only one, and one from March of 23.
Okay. No, we have a valet company. We normally have, 5 or 6 valet guys at any given time. So usually, we move the cars pretty quickly, and then on 188 is the only street that we actually take cars, and it's a 4-lane street. So even when they take it as double park and move it alone, you still have 2 lanes that are empty, basically. That's why we don't get many complaints.
Okay, thanks, Manny. Any of my colleagues have questions? You have any questions, Frank?
I mean, we're looking at the application here, right? And I see that while we say we have DJs and a jukebox, when you do live music, when you say non-amplified, does that mean that their performers aren't using any microphones or any speakers? Just for clarification, because you explicitly write non-amplified acoustic. And I'm sure, given the size of your space, that there's some amplification happening there, right?
Yeah, we have everything on the license. We have live music, DJs, we have live bands and everything. I mean, it says on the license, I'm not sure why it would say that in any application.
Yeah, it's typed in separately. You typed it in, on the right-hand side of the live music, you wrote non-amplified acoustic music. But I mean, if you indicated
that was a bit of a mistake from the filer, because this is a renewal. This is the way the license have been from day one. Now it's going to be the 6th year.
right. So I mean, you have everything else checked: jukebox, disc jockey, recorded music, karaoke, and we know all of those things require amplification. But the live music, you have that's miswritten.
There has to be a mistake. Yeah, I apologize for that. I'll talk to the filer, but it is amplified. We have soundproofing. We normally don't get any sound complaints, as you guys see.
Well, thank you, Manny. Any of my colleagues have questions? Paul, was your question satisfied?
Yeah, I mean, as long as we acknowledge that that's incorrectly posted.
And he's acknowledged that he's gonna make the correction. I have no further questions, so I don't see an issue with this establishment.
Great, so Manny, we'll make a recommendation to the SLA and send you a copy.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Enjoy
All right,
DR.
bye-bye. Thank you. Yeah, I'm in the terminal now, so thank you guys for squeezing me in so quick. Rafael, you're the best.
No problem.
Thank you, man. Bye-bye. Mhm.
All right.
Did anyone join from Majestic Restaurant, 709 East 187? You're
I
on
think the
mute.
first one is still on the call.
I have just one question. If it's 709, why are the in the 311 calls we have here, it says 711?
There were no 311 complaints for 709, but when I typed in 711, I got a bunch of results. So that's why.
Got you.
At both addresses at that restaurant.
Different agencies categorize it different ways, so that's where I found results.
Yep.
Yeah.
And neither of these seem to be pertinent to the business.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, they haven't had a violation in more than a year.
Yeah. Is somebody on the other call from Majestic?
You have to unmute yourself. You're on mute. We can't hear you. There should be a mute somewhere on the bottom of the screen. Or a little microphone that you can click and it will allow you to speak.
Yeah, I think he's unmuted. No, not yet.
No, not yet. So on the bottom of the Zoom, it'll say like mute, video. And you gotta press the little microphone. And it should allow you to unmute. If you can't, I'll do ask to unmute. That might give you a pop-up on the Zoom app. No, because we can't hear you. It still says muted. I did ask to unmute, but it didn't give a pop-up. Okay, I'm gonna put you into the waiting room and bring you back in. Let's see if that fixes it. All right, see if there's a microphone that you can click on the bottom of the screen to unmute yourself. Because it's not unmuting. You should be connected to audio. Did you connect to computer audio? You connected to audio, you can hear us? Can you hear us? You can hear us.
I think he can.
So you are connected to audio. I don't know why you can't unmute. Well, I don't know. I guess, do you want to put in the chat your responses?
Do you want to call on the phone, sir? You
Oh,
can.
yeah. Let me give you the phone number to call in.
Yeah, call in. So it's not. a
Number to
waste of
call in
thinking.
is 929-205-2929. 6099. And then you'll need to put the meeting ID. Meeting ID is 942-5651-9838. So that's the, you'll dial, you do the meeting ID, and then we'll talk to you that way. Thanks.
Are you dialing? I don't think he's
Yeah,
dialing.
he's-
Oh,
he's
yes, okay. You wanna discuss the 800 East Tremont?
Sure, so,
This is unbelievable.
yeah, 800 East Tremont,
They
so,
were at the precinct council
There's
last night.
39 complaints this year.
Yes.
It's only March.
Yeah.
so I guess the context is, last month we wrote to the SLA about 806 East Tremont. I forwarded it to the precinct forwarded it to SLA again, so that there's like an official referral. And Margie says she saw that the gates were down and there was some notice on the window, so maybe the SLA.
Well, let me just tell you,
Yeah.
last night there were, two ladies there that came from that area.
Yeah,
And she said, she didn't speak at the meeting, but after the meeting, she came over to talk to me. And she said, what are you doing about 800 East Tremont?
mhm,
She said, it's crazy, it's crazy.
yep,
And I said, well, why didn't you speak up in front of the commander? I guess people are shy, people are afraid to, but I did tell her that we were on it for 806.
right,
That we said we would not renew the license, and the police department wants to close the place down.
right.
They said it outright. They said, we're closing the place down. There was a shooting in the place
What's the
too.
relationship between 800 and 806? Are they the same place or two separate places?
Well, she says that she thinks it's the same owner.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
Yeah, I agree with that.
They are like right next door to each other.
right.
Yep.
Do you agree with that, Paul?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the word.
So- SLA has taken action on, or hasn't gotten a referral for 806. 800, obviously, there's a million complaints here. I'm just gonna play for everyone a video that was sent to me by a constituent on March 10th.
The problem is, Raphael, that even if they don't have a license,
Look at it.
what can we do if in fact they are still serving liquor?
That's an NYPD item,
right, the police could padlock the
Oh,
place.
That's what they're supposed, if you're selling without a license, then it's just police.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Look at it.
So this is 800 East Tremont, March 10th,
Yeah, bro.
and
Even mob outside.
I mean,
the,
that's, that's how it used to look during COVID. I'll tell you that much right now.
Could you imagine? That looks like the Happy Land Casino.
Mhm.
and
Because it's
during
not
COVID.
What time
Yeah,
of
that,
day is it?
it can't be safe.
middle of the night, and supposedly there was a fight right before this. And they're waiting, and the police hadn't shown up yet, and this crowd is outside. So 806 is where the blue light is. So like, their doors are open and they're aware of what's going on, and obviously, like, establishments know you can't loiter out front, so you're supposed to have security out front, and it seems like neither establishment has any security on
Yeah.
the street.
Do we know if this crowd populated they moved into the street because of the incident that happened outside? Were they forced out? You know what I mean? Like in the aftermath of this fight?
I'm
Just
not
out of
sure.
As I
Just
said,
out of
there's a fight piled out onto the street, or the fight was outside and everyone came out, it might.
Yeah, I'm not sure
Nothing
what
very
exactly what the
typical.
context was, but that's the video I got.
Because
Yeah,
when
it's
the light
crazy.
was on, when I came today, the gate was down. So I don't know, because it was like, today is Wednesday, or I don't know, but
Do we
That
know
should
who
be a
made-
fire hazard at best with that too, with that gate down.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now, Raphael, what about 800? Have you spoken to the NYPD about this one?
They also made complaints about a shooting there. They also reported the shooting there.
Another shooting, because there was one at 806.
Yes,
And they reported one at 800 also?
yes.
Inside on?
I don't know if it was inside or out front, but they said that there was a shooting connected to
When
the,
did they report that?
I'd have to pull it up in my email.
If you could forward that email to me,
Yeah,
I'll make a call in the morning.
so what I suggest is that we write a letter to the SLA and then send it to the precinct and ask them to forward it. Asking the SLA to revoke the license.
I'm thinking that there has to be like something more besides a letter, because this is a very dangerous spot.
Correct,
Mhm.
correct.
But what do the 48 seat, precinct has to say about it? Would that kind of?
Yeah, they said they to respond at both 806 and 800, that they've had a lot of
Well,
response.
806, they said that they wanted to padlock the place, but we're finding now that 800 has the same kind of problem.
Right,
So, I'll check that with
Yeah.
the tenant tomorrow.
okay, great.
Yeah,
Do we want to send a letter to the SLA about their license? Do we want to try to revoke the license?
I think it won't hurt,
Okay,
but I'll check with Ramirez tomorrow.
okay,
And we can quantify the complaints, because there's just this year, 10 drinking complaints,
Mhm.
22 noise complaints, and 2 building use complaints, and everything just skyrocketed this year.
yes,
I don't see anything, I don't see one for 2023 for the sewer, so who took ownership of this in 2024 that's blowing this thing out?
right.
Is that the same person applying? Like the original license was given to the same person applying?
Yeah, so your liquor license is for 2 years and it stays with the LLC for
Yeah,
2
they were
years.
so quiet in 2023, so what's up?
There was 16 complaints in 2020, 17 complaints in 2023.
Yeah, there's still some on the first page, all these illegal
The
parking.
problem is that it looks like an awful lot of people in such a small little place.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Something happier than casino.
Well, yeah.
So like you said, it's a fire hazard.
The-
Yeah,
Well,
like
but
a
you
fire
can-
hazard.
Right. And even if there's like a weapon discharged in this place, if we're talking about there's not rifle security, I think that's really a huge concern, right?
Right.
Right.
Maybe get fire, buildings, DCA, they all could go in at once. and
That's
then
exactly what I was writing down.
Oh.
Mhm.
That's exactly what I was
It's
writing down.
guaranteed there's
Frank.
building violations,
Yes.
guaranteed there's health code
Yes.
violations,
Yes.
guaranteed there's sanitation and fire
Yes,
violations.
yes, yes.
This March 10, 24 complaint,
Absolutely
Yeah.
right.
that's me. I sent that to DOB earlier this month. Great, thank you.
Mhm.
And I asked DOB to go take a look at it earlier this month. I'm waiting to get a response, but, I made the referral.
Up for the 800?
For for DOB, because
Okay.
my concern is about egress, like if there's a fire, then there's
Right.
gonna be a stampede, you
Well,
know?
Then you go to the SLA showing a series of violations across all fields, it shows a kind of
Exactly.
irresponsibility.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I see a tragedy waiting to happen there.
Yeah.
right,
Mhm.
We already had it, we already had it.
Yeah,
okay, so,
I think the community is trying to tell us something about that, between the 806 and the 800. And that's
Yeah.
whatever tools that we have to have further investigation on, and if it calls to lock it up, lock it up. You know,
Well,
That
Frank
video,
just-
the video, you said the video was 310?
yeah, March 10th.
I'm sorry. March 10th.
Yeah, I
okay.
think fire department close it down on the spot if they're
Mhm.
over occupancy, like right down the spot, everyone out,
Right.
lock the place off.
Yeah, so let me just ask fire to do an inspection over the weekends. They should
At
be
night.
open, yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on Friday night.
Friday night or Saturday night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the fire department have to go there and.
I'll make a
Yeah,
referral for that also,
exactly.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and then I can ask for the results of the inspection.
What, I'm curious, just curious, when you say make a night, like what time are we thinking? You know, this place doesn't really get jumping till after 11 o'clock. Like that's a
Okay.
fact.
It looks like it's late.
And I mean,
Okay.
the fire department's up the block. I don't know if that helps, you know what I mean? But like,
Right.
if they get jumping
Yeah.
after 11 o'clock, like that's really when their audience starts picking up. If you look at our noise complaints are between 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning, right?
Right.
Like it's fairly consistent that somebody's complaining after 12.
Yeah, I'll ask for 1 AM then, just ask the ladder to go at 1 AM.
Fire department could probably do more than police department, to be honest.
Right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Yep.
Because it's a fire hazard,
Yeah, it's a
forget
big
it.
fire
Right.
hazard.
right, okay, great, so I'll draft a letter to the SLA and I'll make a referral to FDNY also.
Okay.
Um,
I think the gentleman from Majestic Restaurant, are you on the call, sir?
Yeah.
Hello?
there we go,
Yeah,
Okay.
hello.
Yes,
we can hear you.
Afternoon.
good
Yes,
afternoon.
hi, guys.
Do you want to ask about operating hours?
Yes, sir, could you tell us
Yes,
your
yes.
operating hours for the business for the Majestic Restaurant?
Yes, we're operating 11:30 to 11 p.m. 11:30 a.m. to 11 p.m.
6 days a week, 7 days a week, 5 days a week,
That's 7 days a week.
7 days a week?
Okay.
Do we have any 311 for them?
Very little.
Those of you.
Only none in 24,
Not
one in
here.
23,
Mhm.
a few in 22, but it's like a running hydrant and stuff. It's
Yeah,
not
nothing,
noise or.
yeah. Do you have any questions for us, sir? Sir, do you have questions for us? You can speak in Spanish, we'll translate. Sir,
He,
¿tiene preguntas para nosotros?
We can't hear you
he
again.
have, he had,
lost,
he done-
Oh, my gosh.
Your phone is no longer giving us sound. His phone is
No.
on, but we don't hear
he
you.
unmute.
I think he's on computer and phone.
Right, but we don't hear you now.
¿Nos puede oír? Hola.
No, we hear, he hears us, we don't hear him.
He's
And,
bringing up his thumb, but nothing much.
And he was coming in through the phone line, but now we're not hearing him.
I don't see a problem with this
okay.
business to tell you the truth.
Okay. So then, does that mean we'll just issue renewal?
Does anybody, any colleagues have any questions as it relates to this establishment?
No.
No, okay.
Okay, so we'll send a letter to the SLA, recommending renewal, and we'll send you a copy. All right? Thank you for joining us. We'll send a letter to the SLA and give you a copy, so thank you for joining us. You're good to go. Yep, thank you. Great, so I think that was all of our agenda. 800 Eastern Run we discussed, 2300 Arthur. Great.
I think, Rafael, that we, this 800 and 806, we really have to keep an eye on real close on.
Yes,
Because it looks just like the Happy Land Casino, honest to God.
correct, correct. I'll follow with the SLA also and see what they did with the PD referral. I think they can act pretty quick, but they need a police referral, so I'll see what happened with that referral. And then I'll submit the 800 and 2300 Arthur as well.
Yeah, Michelle was calling me. I'll call her when I get home.
Okay, okay,
But then again, busy till 11, 12 o'clock at night. No one is inspecting anything there, you
right,
know?
That's exactly
And,
right.
and the police themselves have short staff on the third shift, so
Nobody's
noise
gonna be
complaint, they're
going
not coming, yeah.
right. I'm typically what the police do when I send them locations, they look at the 301 complaints. That's
Yeah.
what they're using to base the.
Well, if there's a shooting in each place, you know the
Then-
police know that, and
Yeah.
they don't wanna
Yeah.
deal with that.
But I believe that that thing is that the fire department.
Yes,
The
right.
fire department, because it
Ask them
is.
to go on the weekends.
For
Yep.
both of them.
Yeah, you know that.
Yeah,
violation,
they're benefiting from being in the middle of nowhere, right? They're between Southern Boulevard and West Farms, and it's kind of like a no man's land. So I think they're taking full advantage of it. So faster, better.
That's my area.
Yeah, that's another Happy Land Casino.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
upstairs.
Learned about the quadruple parking on the sidewalk and street. Because
Yeah.
I saw, and that blocks people right in. Keeps them like all together. Where if somebody bumps into the other one, there's gonna be a problem.
right.
You have a residential building right across the street now.
This was the same conversation we had last month in regards to like them having a parking lot, right?
Exactly.
Right, okay. Yeah, she's right. Measure Mary's right.
Okay, so I'll let everyone know what the precinct tells me, what the SLA says, and then we'll do FDNY as well.
And I'll call up the lieutenant as well.
Great, great. The other thing I wanted to ask is, do we want to have a questionnaire that we send to applicants so we have something to review in writing before the meeting? I know some other boards do that. When you apply for your license, the board sends you a questionnaire to fill in. Hours of operation, I don't know,
Yeah.
C of O, that kind of stuff. Then we have stuff in writing on record when they come in.
I think
And if
that's
they
great.
don't show, we might have something in writing.
And if
here.
they change the hours also, we'll also know.
We'll have it in writing. So
I
I'll
think that's a good idea.
I'll draft a form for next month and I'll share it with you all next month. If you want to make edits to it, we can do that.
Okay.
I'll kind of
Okay.
create a record.
Yeah, that's fair.
Great, great. That was all of our
And
business.
also a spot to,
Damn.
how many 311 code violations.
Right, yeah, I mean, I could put on the form, these are the complaints. If you have any comments, you
Yeah.
know, provide comments.
Yeah,
Yeah, great,
it gives us historical information.
exactly. Okay, great. That was it for, I think last month we talked about e-bike hubs and reducing fires for e-bikes. I haven't gotten any update from the mayor's office or Schumer's office about it, but I'm on top of it, so. I'll
I
let you know.
think, do you know the new representative? I think Lenny left.
Yeah, they're filling in with Alina and Paula for who were representatives before, so I forwarded it to them again. So,
He left
Yo,
already?
I see,
Yeah.
oh, I see that Phipps put up a sign now regarding that in the buildings. When I came home just now, when I got in, I see that it signs up around like no e-bikes, no scooters, something that was not there is visible now for residents to see, and it says not allowed in Phipps houses, period. And then it has like pictures of like electric bike scooters and like a fire thing on it. And I noticed that that's something that they just put out now in the building.
They're enforcing it.
yeah, I think the problem is that, the low quality batteries go up in flames, and that the city just passed a law requiring that you can't sell really cheap e-bike batteries, you have to sell ones that pass a certain kind of testing.
Yeah.
The problem is that the cheap ones are still being sold on the bike stores
Right.
on Tremont.
Right.
So I made a complaint a couple months ago to Consumer Affairs, and they wrote a violation on one of the bike stores on Tremont, and I actually just did another one, because we talked about it
Yeah.
last week.
Yeah,
So I did another 3-in-1 complaint. Basically, we have to get to the source of where the batteries are coming from, you
I
know?
forgot to take a picture. when I
And
got-
e-bike isn't inherently dangerous. It's a poor quality battery that
Mhm.
explodes when you charge it.
So
So
store's got a bunch of these batteries and the
They wanna
dealer's not
sell
gonna
them.
take them back. They're gonna
Mhm.
sell them. They're not gonna,
that's the problem.
That's right, they don't care.
yeah, nobody wants to give up, just take a loss.
Yeah,
Sure.
right there on Truman, they had a parking lot, right there on the sidewalk. They have
Yes.
A bunch of bikes right there.
I also have Consumer Affairs to verify they have a license to sell on the sidewalk, because I don't think they do.
Oh, okay.
So I'll let you know what Consumer Affairs tells me.
It's right.
Yep.
Well, have a
Alright.
happy Easter, everybody.
All right, you too.
All right, have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend, everyone. Good